Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel Vlog Canada. My name is Javad and I'm from Calgary, Alberta. So in today's video, I'm going to talk about how I prepared for Canadian citizenship test and how I was able to achieve 100% marks. So I did the test a few months back in 2023 and I was able to achieve 20 out of 20. And so basically, I'm just going to share my personal experience, my own experience, how I did, what material I used. So make sure you're watching this video from the start till the end because I'm going to be sharing very important tips that can help you achieving the same score as well. All right, everyone. So before you get invited for Canadian citizenship test, right, the first step you need to take is to apply for Canadian citizenship online or by paper mail. So I've recently made a video that's actually a comprehensive or that's actually very detailed video that give you a lot of information about how you can submit a Canadian citizenship application yourself online. What are the eligibility requirements? What are the mandatory documents you need to submit? So make sure you go through that video as well in case if you're looking for information how to submit an application for Canadian citizenship, right? So link in the description. Make sure you go through that link. Another thing to keep in mind is that I'm not an IRCC registered consultant. So if you're looking for any legal advice in relation to immigration process, you should be contacting the IRCC directly or the immigration registered consultant or the IRCC agent, right? So based on my own experience, how I prepared for Canadian citizenship test, what material I used, I made this video, and I will also add some relevant links in the description as well. All right, guys, so as you can see on the screen, this is actually a Government of Canada's official website, and we're just gonna go through a few things here. So the first thing we need to look at is who has to take the test and go to the interview. So an adult aged between 18 and 54 years of age, they will receive an invitation for Canadian citizenship test, and accordingly they will have a deadline to complete that test. But if you're an adult 55 and over, you may have to go for an interview, okay? But in today's video, I'm only going to be talking about the Canadian citizenship test, nothing about the interview. So just, like the other thing to understand is there's actually a passing score to this test. So you will get 20 questions, and out of 20 questions, you need to get at least 15 correct, right? So basically, if you're getting like 13, 14 correct, you're failed, then you'll go with the other attempt then, okay? So very important to understand that there's actually a strict criteria and you need to get at least 15 correct answers out of 20 questions, okay? When I did the test, actually, I still remember there was actually a 30 minutes deadline, but now as I can see on their website, it's saying it's a 45-minute long test, right? So basically, that's another thing to keep in mind. As soon as you start the test online, once you get the invitation and you're going through that link, and as soon as you start the test, you'll see a time clock or you'll see the time window appearing on your screen. So make sure you're managing your time accordingly. But guys, so this is actually a study guide from the Immigration, Refugee and Citizenship Canada, and it's very important information. So basically, you can order a hard copy of this as well by just submitting an online request. I'll leave the link in the description as well, or you can download the soft copy as well. Soft copy is also, it's exactly the same version, but if you do order a physical copy, you will have to wait for a few weeks before you actually get the hard copy, right? So very important information. A lot of people ask me how many times do we have to go through this booklet, right? So I would say, based on my experience, I only read this book once, right? But I made sure when I was going through all these chapters, right, where in that book actually, or the content of the book, I was making clear notes as well. I was just trying to remember the dates as well. And do not worry too much about the dates as well. Just make sure you're going through only the important dates as well, because it's kind of impossible to remember all the dates in that from that guide actually, okay? So make sure you go through the important dates as well, and all these chapters are important, okay? So for example, applying for citizenship, that's actually talks about the procedure, how you can apply for it. So don't worry too much about that. Rights and responsibility of citizenship, very important chapter. Who we are, that's actually a part of history, Canadian history, modern Canada, legislation systems, right? Like the justice system, that's actually talks about different legislation, Canadian symbols, economy, like the regions. So regions is very important as well. Like what are the provinces, how many provinces we have, and how many territories we have, right? And a bit of information about what prairie provinces are, where central Canada is, like these. So make sure you go through all this information, but do not like you don't have to go through this information 10 times. Just make sure even if you're going through it once only, right? Make sure you're making a note as well, so that you can, you can just remember all the relevant dates and all the relevant information. Okay, so very important resource.
Recording in progress.
All right, guys, so once you have gone through this comprehensive guide, right, the Discover Canada guide, before you actually attempt for the actual test, make sure you go through some mock tests as well, because it will be really helpful. And this is what I did. As soon as I completed the Discover Canada guide, I attempted a few mock tests as well, just to make sure that I'm totally prepared and I'm fully prepared before I actually start the actual exam, right? So there are so many resources available on YouTube, on Google, right? So what I did personally, I went through these two websites and I completed these mock tests. So if you go to Apna Toronto, I'll leave the link in the description as well. There are like 10 mock tests, so make sure to go through all these tests as well. And also there are so many resources available on basically on Richmond Public Library, right? So based on your province, select your province, and then it will give you like how many questions you want. You can select all, and then it can just basically generate the test for you, and then you can go through these tests as well. And once you've completed all these questions, it will generate you the answer or the results as well, right? So try to complete these tests as well, because it's very important and will be really helpful. And this is what I did personally as well, and that's how I was able to achieve all the results, right? And based on my own experience and based on Discover Canada, I've created another video, and I'll leave the link in the description as well. That's actually a sample question and answers. So I created like 50 questions and answers. So make sure you go through those questions and answers as well, and that will be helpful for you as well. Okay. So basically, just to summarize this, you just have to go through the guide, and then some sample questions as well. And then basically, then once you've done that, just do not think too much about the test. Go ahead and appear in the exam. You'll be fine, okay? There are a few other things you need to keep in mind, and I've made some notes as well. So before you're actually appearing in the exam, make sure you're not stressed about it. I mean, it's okay to stress, but trust me, you'll be fine if you're going through all these resources. Test is not going to be that difficult, okay? So make sure you're taking enough sleep before you actually appear in the exam. And do not take the test when you're actually at work or you just came back from work, right? Just try to take the test when it's weekend or whenever it's convenient for you, and like you have nothing to do in that day, right? So make sure you're keeping a spare day, or you're just basically managing your time accordingly, right? Do not overthink, like I mentioned. Just don't think too much about the test. Like I mentioned earlier, you'll be fine with this test. It's not that difficult. You just have to go through this research carefully, but you don't have to spend hours, months, or weeks, right? I mean, even if you're just giving a day or two, I would say you'll be fine. But at least I would say 2 days are good enough, right? But you just have to pay attention, or make sure you are focused, right? And that's a very important thing to understand, right? And now the other thing you need to make sure is try to take practice tests as many as you can. That's the best advice I can give you based on my own experience. So try to complete these all. All right, guys. So basically, these are the resources I use when I prepared for Canadian citizenship test, and this is how I was able to achieve 100% marks as well. And hopefully, if you follow my advice, or if you go through these all resources and links as well, you'll be able to get the same results too, okay? And I wish you all the best in your Canadian citizenship journey. And I hope you get your oath ceremony soon and you're able to pass your test in your first attempt as well. And I hope you like this video. Do like and subscribe to my channel, and we'll see you in the next vlog very soon. Have a good day. Take care. Bye-bye.